everyone, it is Amanda Nicole and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a full face of first impressions using only Dollar Tree makeup. A lot of this stuff is new, some is not, but everything is a first impressions for me, things I haven't tried, except for 2 items, which when I get to them, I will talk about. So if you want to go ahead and see what look I create and see if we can find some hidden gems within the dollar store, just keep on watching. Okay, so first up is of course primer, and the primer we have are these 3. They are from L.A Colors and they are color correcting primers. Alright, so now that the primer is on, I think the green one did a really great job at kind of toning down some of the redness. Nothing too crazy, but it did tone it down a little bit. When I put this yellow one on underneath my eyes to correct any dullness, I feel like it really took away some of the darkness underneath my eyes. So I really like this one. And then the cool pink one did a really good job at like brightening up this area, and I just put it a little bit over top of the yellow underneath to brighten up my under eyes a little bit too. I don't think these are bad. They are fragrant, so keep that in mind. Now for foundation. So when I was at the dollar store, I could not find a foundation that was light enough for my skin tone. Everything was pretty dark, but I did find their BB Beauty Sassy and Chic Beauty Benefit Cream in the shade Light 1. It's a multi-action skincare and makeup. Okay, so now that the BB cream is on, of course it's light coverage because it is a BB cream, so I'm not expecting it to cover much, but it did take down the redness, and I mean it applied on really nice. I feel like it looks very dewy on my skin, which I have oily skin, so it's not something that I necessarily like, but I don't think it looks bad either. And there is no fragrance in this either, so that's a plus for me that there is no fragrance. Overall so far, I think it gives me a nice natural look. So for concealer, since I don't have a dollar concealer, I am going in with my cheapest concealer, which is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This is $6. You can't find this at the dollar store, but you can find it at your local drugstore or Ulta. So I am going to go ahead and apply this, and maybe it'll give me some full coverage in the areas that I need. Okay, so now that my concealer is done, it did add coverage in the areas that I needed it, so that was a plus, and it's really making the look come together. So now to set it with powder, I have the L.A Colors. This is the finishing powder in the shade Light, and it says it helps set makeup. It says set your makeup in place with this finishing powder for a shine-free, long-lasting, and smooth appearance. Lightly apply finishing powder evenly over face after makeup application with brush or sponge for a flawless finish. Okay, so now that I've set my face with the powder, this powder is great for all over the face. I feel like it really helped to blur out anything and just to add a little bit more of extra coverage in the areas that were needed. However, I don't like it for the under eyes. I feel like my under eyes are creasing because of the powder. So I'm not really a big fan of it underneath. I do like loose powders for underneath, but this is what we had, so we tried it. So, but overall, with the rest of the face, I think that it worked very nicely, and it did add the coverage that I preferred. Alright, so going into bronzer, we have the L.A Colors bronzer. This is in the shade Bronzed Beauty. It says Gorgeous Bronze Glow. It looks like there's some shimmer in it, but we will work with it because this is the only bronzer that I could find there. It says instantly create sun-kissed looking skin, subtle shimmer, particles brighten skin and deliver a natural glow. Can be worn alone or over makeup. Sweet powder brush over powder. Lightly brush on cheeks, forehead, nose, and chin for a naturally skin-kissed glow. Okay, so my skin definitely amped up the glowiness. When I took it out of the packaging, it looks like a highlighter. But when I put it on, there is so much red tone in this bronzer, which I guess is to be expected. It's $1. But I can say there wasn't a lot of patchiness, but man, that's not really the tone that I like. I feel like I look sunburned, not sun-kissed. Maybe I should have went in with a lighter hand, which is what I tried to do more on this side. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think down below how this looks to you. To me, it looks red and not cute. I tried to take my powder brush and kind of tone it down a little bit. This might be a no-go for me. Next up is blush, which again is by L.A Colors. This is the powder blush. It says it has a velvety finish, and this is in the shade Spice. It says silky smooth blush adds a touch of color that stays true for hours. Used to contour, color, and highlight cheeks beautifully. I don't know why someone would use a blush to contour, but alright, so I did like the blush. I thought it was very pigmented. It went on very easily. It's not patchy. Unfortunately, though, with this contour situation already being red, it just kind of looks like I just have a whole lot of red on my cheeks. So, Now on to highlight is a product that I already have, but they still sell it at the dollar store. It's the L.A Colors Highlight in Shine Bright. Y'all probably saw me use this in my previous video where I did my least expensive makeup. This is what it looks like, and it is one of my favorite highlights that is very affordable, only $1. You can't go wrong with this highlight. It's very creamy and is blinding. Alright, so now that my highlighter is on, my skin looks very glowy. I don't think it looks bad. I think the glowiness is fine. I'm still not a fan of the whole bronzer situation, but this highlight is really pretty. Now for eyes, we do have a couple of different things with the eyeshadow. So the first thing up is this e.l.f. eyeshadow quad. It is called Golden Goddess, and I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I don't use the brush in there, the sponge brush. I don't like those. But it says it's an improved formula. It says beautifully coordinated shadows with an easy step-by-step application guide to help create natural to bold looks. Silky smooth formula glides effortlessly onto the skin for long-lasting color. And so I don't know if you can see, but inside it tells you where to put each shade. I'm not gonna go off of that, but it's very good for people who don't normally apply makeup or do that very often, so kind of like a starter. I think it'd be really nice. It would help you guide through how to put that on. But I'm gonna apply those, and I do have some really cool liquid shadows that I found as well. They don't say new on them, but it was the first time that I ever saw them. So this is what they look like. I have these two and I have these two here. So they are like metallic glowing eyes, as it says. I'm gonna go ahead and do swatches of these really quick for you guys. Up is called Smokin'. This next shade is called Wink. That is really pretty. This next shade is called Regal. Last shade is called Cheers, which is the shade that I think I'm going to use with the eyeshadow quad that I'm going to put on today. My first impression of these though is that they are very pigmented and they are very shiny and metallic, and I have high hopes for these just by looking at these swatches. Okay, so now that the eyeshadow is done, I really like that liquid shadow that I did there on the inner part of my eye. I think it is very pretty. It's not super pow in your face, but it laid down nicely, and I probably wouldn't recommend doing multiple layers, but just going over it the way that I did made it come out really nice. I feel like it just looks like a very goldeny wet look that I really love. I used the highlighter that I used on my face to go in my inner corner, which I feel like really made it pop, and so far I'm loving the eye look. For brows, which I'll do off camera, I have the Revlon Color Stay Brown Mousse. Never used a mousse before, so this will be a first. It's in the shade Soft Brown, so I'm hoping it's a color that'll be good for me. And it says that it wears up to 24 hours, one twist brow styler. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop on the brows. Okay, so I think this is as good as my brows are gonna get. I have naturally thick eyebrows, which I like. I'm not the best at maintaining them, and being in this quarantine and not being able to get them really done right now, you know, kind of puts a damper on them, but I like using pencils because I feel like I can make them look more slimmed out. And this, of course, is a different product I've never tried before. I've never tried a brown mousse or a brow mousse, but just this application, that's what it looks like. And you spin the bottom here to have the product come up, and you just brush it through. I think it's a cool concept, and I think if I, you know, played around with it more, maybe got the hang of it, maybe it'll work out in the future. So I do want to continue to try and figure it out, but it's definitely not a product that I am loving at this moment. Now moving on to eyeliner. So I have three, these are new. This is three new liquid liners. They have a black one, a brown one, and a blue one. This is the brown. This is the black. And this is the blue. I think those are very pigmented in color, and they glide on really nice, and the points look really good as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop on some eyeliner. Okay, so for the eyeliner, it glided on very nicely. I feel like I didn't have to work with it a whole lot. It just went on. It was very liquidy, so just keep that in mind. Not like runny liquidy, but just you could feel how liquidy it was when you applied it. But I think the color was very nice. Again, they're very pigmented. I am really happy so far with a lot of the makeup that I got from the dollar store for only $1. I mean, I think I found some really good hidden gems in there that I don't have to spend $20 or $30 on. Moving on to mascara, I have three new mascaras here. The first one is a priming mascara. And then the other mascara is this volumizing mascara for length and definition in the shade Black. And then I have another volumizing mascara for extreme volume. Alright, so now that my mascara is done, I don't think that the primer was as white, or didn't come off as white as I thought it was going to. So I don't really know how much of a difference it really made. I'll have to keep trying it and see what it looks like with other mascaras that I use regularly. And then the other two, the lengthening one, I feel like really did make my lashes look longer. And then the volumizer flared them out a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. It's not my favorite mascaras, but I don't think they were bad either, which is really nice. They didn't come off as black as I thought that they would, but overall, I don't think that it looks awful. Okay, so now on to lips. So for liners, they did have these new lip liners here in these shades. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you. This one is in the shade It's Perfect. This is in the shade Totally Pinkish. In the shade Peachy Feels. In the shade Bear With Me. So these are all four. They don't feel super creamy, but they don't feel bad either. So I just hope that when applying them, they come off a little bit more than they do in the swatches. Now on to liquid lips. I do have these three shades here. These are new as well. They are the Velvet Lip Mousses. It says velvety matte texture, and it says, enjoy a bold lip look. Velvet Lip Mousse wraps the lips in saturated on-trend hues that dry matte but feel velvety and comfortable on the lips. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you. This is in the shade Souffle. This is in the shade Silky. This is in the shade Whipped. So those are all three of the shades. They look very highly pigmented and I have a lot of high hopes for them. I think this is the top shade that I'm going to use today. And lastly, of course, we have a gloss. This is the Plumping Gloss. It says it instantly plumps lips. There is a tingling sensation with this. And this is in the shade Shocker. It says tingling formula creates fuller looking lips while adding a subtle hint of color. So I'm just gonna do a quick swatch of this. And this is the swatch of the gloss. Alright, so now that my lips are done, I can definitely feel the tingling from the lip gloss, but I don't think it's bad. If you've ever tried the Extreme Too Faced Lip Injection Gloss, that one is so much worse than this. As of right now, that's how it feels. But I love the color combination. I think that the lip liner went on very smoothly. Liquid lip went on very smoothly. So overall, I think everything looks beautiful. Even the bronzer a little bit has kind of toned down somewhat. Still not something that I like. Probably really won't gravitate towards that again. But overall, I think everything looks really pretty. And for only $1 for these products, I think they were worth $1. I mean, some of them I think would be worth a little bit more than $1. But overall, everything went on very smooth, and I think if I'm out walking around, no one's gonna think that this is all dollar store makeup on my face. At least I don't think so. The only thing is the powder using under the eyes. My under eyes are creasing a little bit, so that would definitely not be something I would pick up to use under your eyes. Normally I would use a loose powder, but that was the powder that they had, so that's what we went with. But overall, I think it looks good, and I think it's an A+ for me. Honestly, kind of like how everyone goes to TJ Maxx and Marshalls to kind of look and hunt for the high-end products for cheaper value, go to your local dollar store as well and like hunt through the makeup and see the different products. I mean, sometimes they bring in things like the eyebrow mousse. That's a different product I've never tried before, but it was Rimmel. You wouldn't normally see Rimmel. Sometimes they have the e.l.f. products, and the e.l.f. products worked really well. This eyeshadow quad I think was absolutely beautiful and blended out really nicely. Or even these metallic eyes, if you can't afford like a high-end one, I mean, these seem to work just fine. I'm not having any, you know, trouble with them at all. So overall, I think it was really great. I hope throughout the rest of the day that it wears how it should. But I really enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys did too. If you like these types of videos and you like what look I created, just go ahead and hit like for this video. And then if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you guys a part of the fam, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a great and safe Friday and a good weekend. Bye.